Okay, so here we are. I'm getting ready to attach the zipper for this. I have the line here I did previously on the just previously. Haven't done a video for it yet. I just got it ready just to show you guys. But right now we're going to be doing the zipper portion of this coin purse. So the first thing you need to do is get yourself a zipper. Make sure it's long enough. This is actually extra long. This is a 22-inch zipper. A 12 to 14 inch will work with this. Basically all you want to do is measure the outer edge of your zipper part of it. You want to do. So with this is 3.5 by 3.5 by 4. So that's what 7 and 4 is 11. So 14 inches. Go a little longer. So you have little parts to cut off. Don't try to go exactly the same amount because you have all these little bits and pieces that you had to work with. I usually try to go longer and I trim it at the end, which I'll show you once I get that far. So once you have your zipper and your beaded coin purse section done, what you need to do is get your needle ready, which I already did mine. Double string, and I marked the center of my coin purse. So it's right here. So this is the center, and this is the center here. Both sides marked center. And I did the same too for my zipper. So I keep my zipper, make sure the two bottom parts are lined up and fold it in half. And I got my pin and put a little mark here and I put a little mark here. So I know where the center is of the zipper. So once I get those two marks, I mean, don't need a really big mark because you just need a small little mark, just enough for you to see. You put a big mark or use something that's too aggressive, you'll see it once you start sewing together. So with mine, you can just barely see it. You can see right there on both sides. It's ever so slightly. But what I do is I start from the middle. I go from the back in. So I just put one. I sew one section in, just one little through and back, just to help hold it down so I can help with the tightening. And then I go through the center portion as much as I can and pull it on. Oh wait, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. Well, I'll pull it through. I've messed this up. I forgot what I was doing for a minute. I mean, make sure your zipper is going the right direction too as well before you start to. So you get your center and get your center lined up with the piece. And you want to sew through the center again. While you go off center just a little bit. I should make sure it's lined up in the center here. And I go and I kind of sew just a little 16th of the inch, not 16th, like 32nd of the inch, just barely, so it catches the outer edge of the zipper portion. And then make sure my lines are marked up as well. And go through. You can go, I kind of did this backwards. But yeah, just sew through that. You can actually sew through the center like I did before. I kind of did it backwards. I was supposed to go through the center here and push through the center of the mark to actually get the parts center lined up. But I didn't want to take that chance of it being off. So once I go through the back a little bit, I want to stay near my about 1/4 inch apart. I try to typically keep it and try to get as close as I can to my beadwork on one side. So I'll just shimmy it down. So as you can see, I'm actually close to my beadwork. You want to not actually sew through this thicker part because this thicker part, white part here, is what you're going to be putting your beads around. So you want to actually tack next to your beadwork as much as you can, and leave like a little space, as you can see. I'm just getting like right next to that finished edge, and I'm going about 1/4 inch apart spacing. and keeping close to my beadwork as well. So you can see I'm keeping close. And you just work your way down, 1/4 inch apart. And this part where you can shift to move your zipper around to get it to line up for you. And this is what I do for my zipper portion. It does take a bit to get used to, especially when you're trying to get your edge lined up with your needle. Sorry if you hear a lot of banging or noise in the background because it is windy here where I'm at. So let me just go through and do the zipper. Missed that one. So you want to keep checking your piece every time you put your needle through, because you want to take too much or miss. So it does get frustrating and does take time to get it right, but and make sure your needle is actually going through, or you're strictly going through all the way through properly. I mean, if you pull too hard, see how it bunches up? You don't want to do that. So once you pull on it a little bit, make sure you flatten it out, or else you're gonna get waves in your work. So you kind of just want to pull a little bit, not too much, or else you can get waves and all these little bunches up. It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna bunch up on you. Then get to the corner. I missed the corner. So if you're consistent at this part, it should be just like that. As you can see, you should be consistent with that. And the top part, you should barely see the threads, but it should run along to your beadwork edge and the edge of your zipper as well. If you had more rounding, round corner here, this will be way easier, but since I'm not doing a rounded corner, this is a bit trickier to do, because I kind of make a flatten it out and make an angle on it. But normally what I do is I stitch it down, so it gives me that nice corner. The corner is set and it stays. So I stitch through, make it there so it stays in that section, pull down, kind of help the corner wrap a little more, because I want to stitch just maybe like an 1/8 inch down, 2 beads down from where I'm at, and kind of catch the corner, catch the little bit there, just so it helps set that corner right. The first couple times you do this, it's gonna be quite difficult, because it is difficult for me even now. And you want to kind of just go with a 1/4 inch spacing. I'm kind of doing that right now. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I do the 1/4 inch spacing and try to get the edge there to where I need it to. Oh, I went too high, but it's okay because my needle's already set there. Okay, that's where I need to be. Okay, so that's good. So you move your needle back. You move your needle back and forth on that. I don't know if I got that on camera. It's too easy focusing. But you can wiggle your needle back and forth on this section just to get to lay right. And once you do get this little corner laid right, it's a lot more easier to get your needle running straight, your 1/4 inch spacing right. Just the first 2 stitches are quite difficult because the zipper doesn't naturally bend that way. It doesn't do that hard curve. Especially if you do it by hand. So I'm trying to get it. I don't want to be through my beadwork because it actually pulls on the bead itself, and you can see the beads move. Then with this, you just want to line your zipper up with the piece and hold it, and it'll just line up perfectly with where you want it. And don't pull too hard on this because then you'll throw the alignment off. You want to kind of have everything naturally laid natural. So you can pull in a little bit, but it's not like put up a ton of pressure on it. And you want to maintain that stitching line that you have. And yeah, the zipper does, or your extra thread will be caught on your piece. So just pull and make sure your piece is straight. Like right there. It twisted on me. So I pulled it through. Pull the side through now. Make sure it's all good, not too tight. Now I'll go through. Just gets kind of difficult with the camera and trying to look in 2 places at once. This is why I haven't done the zipper before, because me trying to focus on trying to get my needle placement right and looking at the camera or looking through the camera, my phone, it's quite difficult to stay in frame and keep everything so the work shown to me and shown to you guys as well. Most of the time this is a few inches from my face, like right at my face, like that close to my face, where I can actually see what it is I'm doing. So there I went a little too low because I don't want to be getting into my beadwork, the stitching. I want to be just above that. So I'll do the corner. I'll come down. So this part here, I've made these little marks here on my beadwork. These are little funny little like breaks in the beadwork, but these are basically my center lines for the zipper. So this little section here is actually my center, and I need to stop just before that, just before this line here, because I know that's where, when I fold in half, this is the bottom part, and I can't pass a certain section of that bottom part because I need to tuck my zipper in when I do the assembly. So I'll stop about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch above that, and I'll just kind of do a back stitch over the piece and sew my way back up. So I'll sew it back up maybe 4 or 5 stitches, just because this is the part where it will get a lot of use, because a lot of tugging from opening and closing. So I want to ensure that this part is actually stitched pretty good. And you just follow your line so you can make like a back stitch through it. I mean, you could go all the way through back up to do that, but I do this part. I'm gonna do one more through it, just like that. And then you just tie your knot on the inside here, or make your knot here. But I prefer to be on the inside more. So when you do your lining, it actually hides your knot on the inside, and you won't have extra strings being shown on the outside, or your little fringes, frayed edge being shown. So just put a little few knots, burn the ends if you need to, whatever you're comfortable with doing, but just make sure it's secured. Or I know some people burn them, some people just tie knots, cut them off, or some people actually use fingernail polish or super glue to put over the knot. But me, I put 4 knots and cut it kind of long, just in case I have to go through again and repair this and do some kind of maintenance on it. But that's basically how you do your zipper. So it leaves you the edge here. Like you see, all this part here is going to be for your edging. So you can edge around this, beat around this whole section. That whole section there. And for me, that's like 4 beads. I'll fit around the edge all the way around. And the corners I do a different way. And it's basically a wrap stitch for the whole thing. And once you get done with that, then I'll show you how to do the lining part of this to go inside here and you sew it on. And it covers up your inner lining stitching with some small stitches here and there. It's all covered up, and it will complete your coin purse once it's done. But this section here is just for the doing the zipper portion. So once I get done with this, I'll actually, so this is how I do the zipper portion of it, and this is the one part of it just to get started. So now my next video I'm gonna finish this part, then I'm gonna do the other, show you how to do the other section, the other half of it, and that will be another quick video on how to do that one. This one's actually pretty long because I showed you the whole step from starting to ending to come back up. So my next video we'll be doing the, after I get done on this side, we'll be doing this portion of it because it's different than doing this side. And once that's done, then I'll assemble the lining and show you how I cut the lining and do everything with it. So stay tuned for that. But this is how I do my zipper part. Stay tuned for part 2.